Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Palos Heights Public Library virtual program. I'm glad you can join us. Please let me know if you're able to hear me in the chat box that should be at the bottom of your screen. Hopefully everything is working. My name is Christina. I'm Public Services Librarian, and today we're going to be talking about Internet basics. But before we get started, I'm going to let you know about some of our upcoming programs. You should see on the screen some icons with our upcoming programs in the coming weeks. First, we have Poland in Chicago. That is about Polish history in Chicago. That is Tuesday, April 26th at 6:30 p.m. Okay, good. You can hear me good. Then the next day, Wednesday, April 27th at 7 p.m., we have a program brought to us by Illinois Libraries Presents. That is with Nick Offerman and Jeff Tweedy. You might know Nick Offerman if you've watched the TV show Parks and Recreation. He is from that show, and he has a book he's going to be talking about that he wrote himself. Then on Tuesday, May 3rd at 6:30 p.m., we have Eating for Stress Management brought to us by the Northwestern Medicine. Then Thursday, May 5th at 6:30 p.m., we have Chicago and the German U-505. That is the submarine that you can see at the Museum of Science and Industry downtown. Then Tuesday, May 10th at 6:30 p.m., we have The Nazi's Granddaughter with Sylvia Foti. That is a personal story of hers about one of her grandfathers that she found out was actually a Nazi. And then on Thursday, May 12th at 6:30 p.m., we have a film showing. The film is Holding Pattern, that is directed by Tom Desch, and is about the airport plans that are in Petone, Illinois, that have been going on apparently for 3 decades. So that is a film showing on Thursday, May 12th. You can register for all of these upcoming programs at our website, phlibrary.org, or you can come in to the Public Services Desk or call in to the Public Services Desk, and we can register you for all of these programs. Now, some housekeeping. We have some housekeeping. All of your mics and cameras are turned off for this presentation, so we have no accidental interruptions. But if you have any questions throughout the class, there is the chat function that should be at the bottom of your screen or at the top, wherever it's placed. But it's a little speech bubble and it's called chat. You can just type in there, and I will be checking in on the questions every few minutes to see if anything has come in, any comments, any questions you have. Put them in there. Otherwise, I'll have a little time at the end, hopefully, for Q&A if you want to save your questions for the end. So I'm going to pause the screen share here. Give me one moment. Put that to the side. Okay. Right. I'm going to pull up now our little class. Go. Pull that up. Here we go. All right. So Internet basics. Again, my name is Christina, and here we begin. Let me know if you can see that. Hopefully you should be able to see that. So our screen now says agenda. So our agenda for today, I'm going to be starting with some terminology. Then I'll go over the web browser, how it looks, and what URLs are. Then I will go over some different search tools you can use while on the internet. And then last bit, we will have some web safety and some good, but I would say some good sites for web safety and where to learn more about web safety. Minimize that. Here we are. Okay, next, some terminology. So the internet. The internet is a system of interconnected global computer networks that allow people to share digital information with each other. Here we are. And then the web, which is different than the internet, that is the system of online documents that are linked together like a spider web, hence the term World Wide Web. And then we have the web browser, how we can access the internet from our different devices. It is a program that allows you to view websites and navigate between them using hyperlinks. Also used to access web-based applications like Yahoo Mail, and to store and access documents using web services such as Google Drive. And here I have the 4 most popular web browsers there are. The first one, which looks like a blue little swirl there, that is Microsoft Edge, which replaced Microsoft Explorer, because they used to have Internet Explorer. But they now have Microsoft Edge, which usually comes with most PCs that have Windows on them, which is different than Apple PCs, which we'll go into a little bit. The second one, which looks like red, yellow, and green pinwheel, that is Google Chrome. That was created by the Google company. Next to it, which has a little fox on it, there's Firefox. That is another popular web browser that is used on PCs. And then the fourth one, which looks like a little compass there, that is Safari, which comes standard on most Apple computers. And if you have an iPhone, you probably have Safari on your iPhone for searching the web. There we go. Microsoft Edge, Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, and Safari. Going on, website. That is a collection of web pages that provide information about a business, group, organization, or person, such as the Palos Heights Public Library. And here you can actually see that's our old website there in the picture. But so our new website, phlibrary.org, all the pages that you can find on that is one collective website all about our library. A single web page is an electronic document with text, images, and other links that is accessed by clicking a hyperlink from the results list in the web browser. So this example here, you can see someone Googled the word dance, and you can see they have 2 pictured results. The second one is highlighted. If they were to click on that, they would take them to the web page on Wikipedia about dance. Then we also have a home page, which is like the landing page or the first page you usually go to on a website. So for example, I'm going to go back 2 pages. This here is the home page, the old home page of our library. So it is a page of a website that appears first when someone clicks on a site's hyperlink on his or her web browser results list. And so it is usually the main page of a website. So for example, here we have the home page of Elgin, Illinois, and that is usually where you can find the information, like it's the starting point of the website, and usually has a way for you to access all the different information on that website. So for example here, they have a community link, the city services link, the government link, and business and development link. If I were to use our current library's homepage as an example, you would have a way to access all our online resources, the public services page, the youth services page, So there's it's the starting point of the website. Going on to the cloud, that is a term used to describe a web-based application and or files that are stored on a shared remote server and accessible to users through a login, such as Google Docs or Facebook. So all that information is stored on a remote server, and you are able to access it from any computer as long as you remember your login. So for example, your emails and stuff like that, they are stored on a remote server, and you can access it on any computer as long as you remember your login for that email. As opposed to something being stored on a hard drive or a single computer, the hard drive of that single computer, where you can only access that file on that device. Going on to web browsers and URLs, we have the address bar, where you type in the address of a website or web page. That is always, the web address bar is usually always found at the top of your browser. So they have highlighted here in the red box the address bar. And so yes, that is always at the top of your browser. No matter how many tabs you have open, it's always at the top. And you would either type in the exact URL or web address of the page. So for example, they have Alice Cafe in the example here. But another example would be if you're trying to go to our library website, you would type in phlibrary.org, and you would hit enter, and then it would take you to our homepage. Or some browsers allow you to Google search right from this address bar here. So if you have that enabled, you can just type in, say you're looking for puppy dog pictures, you could type in puppy dog pictures, and it would take you to the Google search result page. Or if you just wanted to type in each word, Palos Heights Public Library, it would take you to the Google results page, and hopefully we would be near the top there. As I was saying, this is also a search box on some browsers. So you would enter the keywords when the exact web address is unknown. So in their example here, they don't remember the exact web address for the Lincoln Park Zoo, but they're just going to search it and see what it pulls up. As I have a note down here, some browsers only have a single, what they call omnibox, that is used to enter both web addresses and keywords. So, like Google, the omnibox, they mean this search/web address box right here. So yes, one of the browsers that is able to do that is the Google Chrome browser is able to do that. I'm going to take a moment. If you have a question, feel free to put it in the chat box. Okay, still doing okay. I apologize if my voice starts sounding a little hoarse. I was getting over a cold this weekend, so if my voice starts going, I apologize. But going on. One moment. Sorry about that, technical difficulty. There we go. Up next, tabs. They are used to open a new web page without closing the current one and navigating back and forth between them. So as you can see in this picture example here, they have 3 tabs open. How you would open a tab is if you look in this little area here, they have what looks like a little parallelogram, quadrilateral right there. They would click on it and would open a new tab, usually just to a blank page, and then you could type in a new web page while still having these other tabs open, so you wouldn't lose your spot in your email or where you were on the public library web page, and you would just be able to open a new tab while clicking back on this other tab and going back to right where you were before. So that's a handy little feature. I will let you know if you start having too many tabs open sometimes, depending on the computer, it can make your computer run a little bit slower. So be careful not to have like 50 tabs open. I have seen some people have like 100 tabs open and not even realize it. So always be careful not to have too many tabs open. And the tabs will all close once you exit out of your web browser. And then what some of the buttons do, because you will notice sometimes near the top of your screen you'll have other buttons. So these are what these buttons do. They usually help you navigate the pages that you have had open. So most standard of them is the back and forward buttons. So the back returns to the previous page you had opened. The forward button would go forward a page if you've only gone back a page. The forward button only works if you've gone back, so then you can go forward. Then there's usually like a little X next to the forward and back buttons. This will stop a web page from loading. Usually if it seems like a page maybe is taking too long to load a page, or if you accidentally searched the wrong thing, you can hit the stop and it will stop loading the page. Then you will see a reload or refresh button that will refresh or reload the page you are currently on. So yes, if you're having trouble, it seems like a web page isn't loading correctly, you can stop and then refresh it. So it restarts loading, and sometimes it will load correctly the next time. Whoops. Then there's usually either a star or what will look like a little bookmark. That is to add a web page to your bookmarks or favorites. Depending on the browser, it might be called bookmarks, it might be called favorites. So if you know there is a web page you're going to be using a lot, whether it might be your library page or if it's an email page you want to get to really fast, you know you're going to use it a lot every day, you can save it to your bookmark or favorites, and then you would just open your bookmark or favorites. You can just click on the web page you want to go to and it will load it right up, so you don't have to search for it every time. And then the little home button, you can make a web page your home button or your home page. What that will do is every time you open up your browser, that page will automatically open up. You can have multiple of them if you want, so that you'll just have like a few tabs will open up automatically whenever you open up your browser. So say you want your email to open every time you open your browser, or a certain web page to go to every time you open your browser. If you have to work from home, you can have a work page just open up automatically. And so you can set those up in your settings, and you can just click on the home and it will take you to that page right away. I do have a little note here. A lot of times the browsers on the smartphones, though, they don't have this home button. Again, web address tells the computer the correct combination of letters, numbers, and/or characters to reach a particular website. Otherwise also known as a URL or Uniform Resource Locator. So that's what URL stands for. It does have to contain no spaces and has to have the correct spelling. So even if a single letter is off, it can take you to a completely different web page, which some could be malicious, so you have to be very careful about typing in the web page. Because, for example, phlibrary.org, that is our library website, but if you did phlibrary.com, that is a completely different website and not us. And then they usually begin with www or HTTP or HTTPS. And then, for example, they're down there, www.ssa.gov. And then domains. Again, if you have any questions, always feel free to put them in the chat that's in the bottom of your screen. But domains, they are usually the last few letters of the address after the period, the second period, and usually gives the users an indicator about what type of site they will be visiting. So, for example, anything that has a .com at the end is usually a commercial business or company. If it's .org, it's a non-profit, so most libraries have a .org at the end, or any museums usually have a .org at the end. .gov is going to be a government agency, usually a United States government agency. .info is just going to be an informational site. .edu is educational institutions, so usually, your colleges or your high schools or universities. .net is usually an internet service provider, so your AT&T.net, Comcast.net, and then pretty rarely, but .mil, any United States military branches. And then we have search engine tools. So search engines are the sites that you can use to search the internet. There are different search engines for various different search tools like news, maps, weathers, and sports. So usually the two most popular ones right now are Bing and Google, but there still are some other smaller search engines. Usually Ask, and Yahoo has a search engine, and there's a very small one called like DuckDuckGo, based off Duck Duck Goose, the game. Very small ones, but the two big ones are Bing and Google. Some other search engine tools and tips. If you're trying to search something that has multiple words in it, so for an example, the Illinois State Fair, you can put quotation marks around all the words, and that will tell the search engine to search for all of those words next to each other, because otherwise it will search individually for Illinois and then state and then fair. So if you want specifically Illinois State Fair, put the quotation marks around the phrase, and it will search, make sure that any search results have all those three words next to each other. Next, also called connectors. So if you wanted to search for Chicago and events, so we'll search for things that have both of those words in it. Otherwise, it might just search for just Chicago and just events. You can also usually find at the bottom of your search results, or at the top sometimes, also try or searches related to. You can look through those to see if there's any recommendations in there that might get you closer to what you were searching for, if you weren't quite sure like how to phrase something. And also always check through the multiple pages, because sometimes your search, the result you were looking for might be on the second or third page before you change up your keywords. And also always review the results before clicking on any hyperlinks. You can usually hover over the hyperlink to see what page it's going to be taking you to. So you can see if maybe it's not going to the page it's saying it's going. And then onto internet safety. The internet is not evil, but some people are, so you have to be careful about where you're going on the internet. You can keep your family safe with just a few simple guidelines. Be cautious of entering personal information into websites that aren't secure. Always look for either the HTTPS or the feature lock icon. So in most browsers now, in the address bar, you'll be able to see a little lock, as you can see on the far left here in the address bar. That means that site is secure. So if you do any online banking or anything like that, before going into the site, even ones that look to be genuine, always look for the little lock here that will tell you that the site is secure. Go. Also, always use antivirus software. Most computers now do come with the basic antivirus software, but you can always download more antivirus software, but always get it from a reputable source. You can read online. There's lots of different articles and stuff like that for reading about the best antivirus software. I would say do some research first before downloading any antivirus software. And then once you download it, you can always set up for it to do scans, antiviral scans and stuff like that. Keep your programs and software applications updated. Usually Windows is pretty good about making sure it does updates and stuff like that. So always make sure your programs and software are updated, because that will have the most recent antiviral software in the program. Use strong passwords. Usually most websites now tell you how many characters and stuff they need. Usually it's at least 7, but it might be up to 8 now. But usually each program and stuff like that, emails and stuff like that, they require passwords, and they tell you how many characters they require and whether they need like special characters or numbers or need uppercase. A good mix of all of them is very good to have upper and lower, special characters, and numbers. As I said, yeah, mix of upper and lower case. Usually at least one number, a symbol or special characters. And have them unique to each website and ID. Do not repeat passwords. You can have them written down if you want, but then make sure not to lose that passbook. And then here's a little example of a password. And then do not create a folder in your email program or computer called passwords and store them there, because then that's very easy to find for anyone. And then here is a little website I have pulled up for up-to-date tips. Here, give me one moment. I'll pull it up. It is called, it's the Federal Trade Commission Consumer Advice, On Guard Online. Hopefully you can see that. And they have online security tips. for computer security, if you have to use a public Wi-Fi network, common online scams, so you can read up to be aware of any potential online scams. And then here is also links for educators and parents. And they have some videos of what to do if you get in trouble. You can also have learn more. And they also usually sometimes have any consumer alerts if anything becomes public knowledge about any big scams or anything. Sometimes they have info about it here. So I'll pull up that link again, if you can see it, but it's www.consumer.ftc.gov/feature-0038 on Guard Online. If anyone wants to, I can also send them that link if they would like in an email after class. So I am actually getting near the end, unless there's anyone, any other questions or anything else someone would like to put in the chat, anything you want me to go over again. I can also show you around. This is Firefox, but I can show you what the stuff looks like on Firefox if you would like, and to go into some more settings on Firefox. Oh, was my video off the whole time? I apologize. Well, here we go. Okay, so I can show you what some of the settings look. Again, this is on Firefox, but you can see here the back button and the forward button, and I have the refresh button or reload button. This is the home button on Firefox, and here you can see like the little lock here that means this website is safe. Also here on Firefox, it's a star to bookmark pages. Here is Save to Pocket. That is another kind of bookmarking feature on Firefox. Here is the download option. So if I'm downloading any files on the internet, hopefully from reputable resources, usually if like there's an email with a document I need, I can see the download of it here. I see a question given. I see. So yeah, a lot of times with new computers, yeah, they give you a free trial, but then you need to pay for the safety feature. That's true on most every computer. Any antiviral software you're going to get is usually come with a subscription now. It used to be that you could just buy it one time, way back when. You could buy it one time, and then you would have it, but a lot of safety features now, it's like usually like a yearly subscription to it. So yes, you can either do continue their Netgear Nighthawk protection. You can either do that one, or you can do research and see if there's any other one you might like the looks of better, but it's probably going to be some kind of paid subscription to the antiviral software. Then going on, hopefully you can see this. Yes, you can. You see here 3 lines. That is a drop-down menu, and that drop-down menu is probably going to be in the same area for all browsers, whether it's Google Chrome, or Safari, there's going to be a drop-down menu here, and that's going to give you more options. If you want to sync and save your data, you can do that if you want, but that's probably going to be if you create like some kind of account on your browser. Usually I don't do that. Oh, how do you check the source of an article before downloading to be sure it's safe and secure? Good question. Usually I wouldn't download an article unless it's from a pretty well-known source. So, like your standard, like news articles, like from the big ones, CNN, Fox, CBS, sites like that, they usually should be fine to open. Also, usually if you search something, let me go for example, news articles from today. The first couple, you can see here, say that they're from an ad. I usually wouldn't click anything that's from an ad. But now let's look through down here. You can see here CNN, New York Times, US News. Those ones should usually be fine. You can also right click and you can inspect it as well. But these top ones from websites, they can clearly, you know what they are. You can read it. You can see that there's no misspellings. CBS News, CNN. Those should be fine. If there's any like misspellings in them, then that would be something I would watch out for. Because there are sites that can pretend, but they would be like a letter off, like that might say CM and try to pass it off as CNN. And then also if you're going to, so that's how it looks. So you can see this, I tried out a new browser just to see what it would look like. This is DuckDuckGo. But now let me search via Google and so see how it looks that way. Again, news articles. You can see here they have some top stories right here, how Google sets it up. And then as you can see, I'm hovering over this one and it has actually in the very bottom left corner, it's kind of hard to tell, but right at the bottom it says HTTPS NBCnews.com in the very bottom left of my screen. And again, it says CNN.com at the very, very bottom left of my screen. I can also right click on it. And again, you can inspect it. And then if you do click on it, you can also see right here it has the little lock on it. So it's a secure site. Okay. Again, back to this little drop-down menu right here. Here you can also see this is another spot I can open up a new tab, as well as hitting the little plus sign here to open a new tab. If I click on New Window, that's going to open up a completely new browser. So you can see here, I have a bunch of home tabs that open up when I open up a new browser. I can open a new in private window. That's for even more secure searching. So if I were to open a new private window, it would not save it wouldn't save anything to my history. It wouldn't ask to save any passwords or anything like that. Usually I don't save passwords anyway, just in case. So that's for new in private window. Bookmarks, that's going to be everything I've already bookmarked. So you can see all the things I've bookmarked. But if I wanted to bookmark the current tab I have open, I could click on that and it would bookmark the current tab I have open right here. So it's just going to be Google search hits results. I can also search through my bookmarks if I happen to have a lot of bookmarks. Or if I want to hide my bookmarks toolbar, which is this little row right here I have on mine, I could click on that and it would hide that. So now the bookmarks are just hidden, but they're still saved in here. I can now click on Show Bookmarks toolbar and they come right back again. History is going to show everything that I have looked up for as long as I've saved it. If I want to clear my history, I can click on it and I can either clear recent history or I can go to Manage History and I can click on I can see all the history I have and I can find any of the pages. So if there's a specific page I'm trying to remember that I searched for in the last week, I can find it here. Otherwise, I can also go to Settings. There we go. I go to Privacy and Security down here. And then I would click on Clear Data, and that would clear all of my history for whenever I set it to. I can set it for just the most recent, or I can clear it for all of my history. Not going to do that now, otherwise I'll close out this page. Here I can also look through my downloads. I can look through passwords. I can clear passwords if I need to be. I can print this page, or I could save this page if I want to. Zoom. If you have trouble reading, if this text is too small, you can zoom in on the page a lot, and it will make everything bigger, like a lot. And then you can go up to like 300% and go down to like all the way to 30% in case the page is too big. Again, back to settings. Here you can see some general settings, so you can even restore your previous session if you want to. So if you want to go back to a page later, don't want to have to search through everything again, you can have it so whenever you open up your browser, it will automatically open back to where you previously were. You can make different browsers your default browser, so it will always open up in, if you have a link or something like that, it will always open up in Firefox or something like that. You have some settings for tabs. You have some settings for fonts and colors. So if some fonts are harder to read for you than others, you can set things in the default font. You can even make the size bigger. You can also always have it zoomed in if you want, or you can make it smaller. You can set your language. You can also select where downloads go. So when you download things from the internet, where they automatically go into your downloads folder, or if you want them to automatically download into like your documents folder or something like that. Or if you wanted to always ask you where to save files when you're downloading something, you can do that. Let's go to home. This is where you can set up what you want to be your home page. So I have, I believe, 4 different tabs set up for home pages. You can have some shortcuts in your web search. Search settings. Here is where you can set whether you want your address bar for searching and navigation, or if you wanted 2 separate, an address bar and a search bar. Usually standardly we just have it as the 1 bar so it's easier. Here you can set your default search engine, so they give you some options. You can have Google, Amazon.com as your search engine, Bing, DuckDuckGo, eBay, Wikipedia, so you can have a lot of different default search engines. Here you can even have some search shortcuts. If you put in these keywords, it will automatically use that search engine in your search bar. Here again, we have privacy and security. Usually they automatically have it set for standard security, but you can have even stricter security if you want, or you can even customize. I usually have select as websites do not track, so I have it on. Here you can select, again, cookies and site data to clear, your logins and passwords. You can have it set to ask to save, or I have it usually as don't save. I'm going to actually unclick that one. You can autofill if you choose to save anything. It can autofill for you. I usually have that off. And also down here I have selected block pop-up windows, so nothing accidentally pops up. Block any dangerous content for me automatically. And the last one, sync. This is only if you have put in an account on Firefox, so then it can sync any of your bookmarks across different devices, but I have that turned off. Okay, again, wrapping up here, so if you have any last minute questions, or if you want me to go over something again real quick, feel free to. Otherwise, again, thank you all for coming. Don't forget we have some more programs coming up in the next coming week, so feel free to sign up for those at our library website, phlibrary.com or .org, and or you can call into our public services desk, and we can help sign you up for those programs. So I'm gonna leave this open for a couple more minutes in case you have any other extra questions. But thank you all for coming.